This is music, and this is a bit of a blab fest. Welcome to a blab fest of a video. I'm just going to talk about some random things. The first topic is, I don't know if you guys remember, one of the earliest videos I did on this channel was a video on Axe Master's Blessing in Disguise. And there were some things I liked about the album, some things I didn't like about the album. And one of the things I didn't like, that was the vocals. And that video has, been in existence. People have watched it and some people commented on it, YouTube stuff. But a couple of days ago, Christopher Michael, who actually did the vocals on that album, wrote an awesome comment, pointing out some things that he wished they could have done differently, but also some things he was proud of on the album, providing some insight into the mindset they were in, when they recorded it, just some behind the scenes stuff, pointed out some things in my discussion of the album he agreed with, some things he disagreed with as well, and pointed out some things that I could have brought up as well that I didn't. So, just a cool, awesome, constructive comment. No anger or anything like that, because it seems that unlike fans that get really angry if there's something you don't like about their favorite bands, or even if you like their favorite bands, but if you don't like them in the correct way, they get angry. It seems that musicians, at least in the world of metal, tend to not get angry. They say, well, thank you for listening and giving us a chance at least, and blah, all that stuff, right? So an awesome comment. He seems to be a really awesome, chill dude. So I appreciate that comment. And then I realized that YouTube had withheld a bunch of other comments that he had tried to make on the video. So I have released those as well. That was a bit annoying. YouTube did that. But in some of his comments, he mentioned that he has a song on YouTube called The Deity that he made under the moniker of Rav Age. So that's Ravage. And I decided, I'm going to check that song out. So I gave it a listen on YouTube, and I quite liked it. And then I realized that Ravage, or Ravage, that they actually, or he released an entire album earlier this year under that moniker. And the album is called Welcome to the Rav Age. So I bought a copy of it on iTunes and gave it a couple of listens yesterday. And I really like that album. It has a DIY feel to it for sure. The production is not lo-fi or anything like that, but the production is a bit raw, which I appreciate because it adds this underground authenticity to the music. But it also means that, the songs kind of sound different from one another in terms of the production. And I think maybe it's because they were maybe mastered and mixed on different occasions and stuff like that. But again, it just adds authenticity to it. So it's straightforward, no nonsense heavy metal based on, in your face, punchy riffs. No nonsense. And these riffs are quite groovy, a lot of them, kind of in a percussive way, which I appreciate. And this also means that the music has a bit almost like an industrial metal feel to it, although it's not industrial metal, but just the groove of the riffs and the no-nonsense approach to everything. I really like the guitar tone. It's punchy, it's fuzzy as well, it's really heavy, and it fits those groovy, percussive riffs very well. So musically, I think it's a great, straightforward metal album with lots of reverb, because the idea is to try to capture kind of the sound from back in the day. So, and that works very well on this particular album. Now, the vocals are in the same style as on Blessing in Disguise, so very dramatic and theatrical. kind of a madman-esque approach to singing. But on Welcome to the Rav Age, the vocals sound a bit more focused to me and a bit more controlled. So I think they are tailored to, the different parts of the songs and the different songs they appear in. So that means that the vocals on Welcome to the Rav Age, they sound really menacing. It is almost like there's an insane person maybe waiting behind the corner of the next riff, just waiting to stab you to death. So I really like the vocals on Welcome to the Rav Age. It's a similar approach, dramatic and theatrical, but more controlled and more menacing, and it also just fits this no-nonsense music very well. So do check out Welcome to the Rav Age. It is, rough around the edges, but I think it's a bit on purpose. It has a lot of punch to the guitar tone. It sounds very undergroundy. The vocals, insane, but this time in an awesome way to me. Remember, it's all subjective. And so I really enjoyed it. And if you want to check it out, please buy a copy and support Christopher Michael there. So I really enjoyed listening to Welcome to the Rav Age. Of course, I have to give it more listens. I listened to it once or twice. But it also made me want to go back and listen to The Blessing in the Skies again. I haven't listened to it in a while because also his comments, some of the ones that were withheld, unfortunately, he writes about some of the things he was trying to achieve with his vocals and stuff. So I think I'm gonna go back one of these days and listen to it again. Maybe do a second evaluation video if there's interest in that. Now that I have some behind the scenes information on it, that can often help appreciate. If you know what the artist was trying to do, that can help you appreciate the art itself. But awesome comment from Christopher Michael. He seems like an awesome guy. Great undergroundy album by Rav Age. Do check it out, but don't expect it to be polished or anything like that. Expect it to be no nonsense, kind of groovy and scary vocals. If you were into that, I think you'll enjoy it, like I enjoyed it. So yeah, if there's any interest, I will probably maybe next year do a follow-up, listen to Blessing in the Skies again, and close listen to it again. So in any case, do check out Welcome to the Rav Age. Okay, so currently I'm spinning this one here, Back for the Attack by Dokken, which was part of the Dokken box set I bought. I finally got around to listening to it, and this is an example of, again, a music fan being irrational and how our irrationality often works against us. When I was a kid, right, I don't remember which ones, they had a couple of Dokken albums in my local music library, and I looked at the name, and I was a native speaker of Danish. And I was just a kid, so my English was not, super great. So Dokken, that's just, to a Danish kid, that sounds just like a silly band name. So I decided, Dokken, silly name. Anthrax, kind of a cool name with an X in it. Well, I'm going to explore Anthrax. So it turned out I wasn't ready for Anthrax yet. But then you got to know, Iron Maiden, that's an awesome name. I'll check that out. Those albums and all that stuff, right? So, just because of a name that sounded silly, I never really got into Dokken, but Christian Osorio and Jacob from Jacob's music channel, KRI, were so nice to send me some Dokken material to listen to, and, I decided to buy the box set and listen to it, and I enjoy it. It's much heavier than I expected it to be as well. It is hard rock, it is glammy, but there are more metal elements on it for sure. And I think Don Dokken's vocals actually sound great. So yeah, late to the Dokken party, but I arrived. Okay, and then up next, this album, I've shown it a couple of times, Burst into Isomer Isomer, something like that, by Sin Isomer. Uh, this one has been playing on my iPod on repeat, for me to listen to while bicycling to and from work. And I just want to highlight it again. I mean, this is a freaking fantastic power metal album. As a lot of you know, I kind of soured on power metal, especially the European variety. I thought it had become too bland, too boring, too wimpy and whiny and samey. But this is a power metal release, but like a lot of other Japanese power metal bands, they have kind of captured the energy and the awesomeness of early European power metal, and also, of course, injected some influence from US power metal, which always had a bit more of an oomph to it. And then, of course, a lot of, the Japanese tradition and their own cultural background. So Japanese power metal is where it's at to me, along with the US power metal. And this is a fantastic Japanese power metal album, or mini album, really. And it's fronted by this lady, Sin Isomer, and she's a fantastic vocalist. She has an incredible range. And the songs on here, they're almost progressive in a way. Complex riffs and, sometimes conventional song structures, but sometimes with, some interesting details. The opening track, Quiet Sky, is a masterpiece. You just have an amazing chorus and an amazing pre-chorus. She showcases her range. She goes from some really low notes up to some insanely high notes without going into falsetto, which is very impressive. I'm not an expert on that, so I'm not sure, but that's what I think. And then you have an awesome, just series of 3 solos next to each other, a shreddy guitar solo, an awesome keyboard organs kind of solo, and then a jazzy bass solo just in the first song. The Quiet Sky, the last spell is a bit more epic sounding, and Future King, they're just amazing, just larger than life power metal songs. You got Bang Your Head, which is great too, and you have a couple of awesome ballads. So this is an amazing power metal album. I really enjoy listening to it, and if you like power metal, do check it out. She sings in English as well, she has a Japanese accent, but that just adds authenticity to me. But she sings in English, in case you prefer that. A fantastic album to me. If you are a Kitsune, you might be interested to know that I think it's the guy that produces the baby metal albums. Also is the producer on this album, and he's also the guy that plays the guitar, including the guitar solos, and he can shred. So, amazing album. Do check it out. It's fantastic. Then, as a lot of you know, Judas Priest released their first single from their upcoming album, Panic Attack. I've had a chance to listen to it a couple of times, so here are my thoughts on that. When I heard the first couple of notes from the song, I was worried. It has this kind of synthy sound to it, but not your turbo synth, more like the kind of synth that you hear in some of the metalcore music from the late 2010s, where they started incorporating a lot of kind of electronic pop stuff in it, and actually you hear a lot of that in kawaii metal as well. So I was a bit worried. I was like, oh no, have they gone scenecore? Have they gone kawaii? Oh no. But then of course the sound kind of morphs into a more guitar sound, and okay, it's not a synth pop song. And then of course you have your Judas Priest riff kicking in, and it turns out to be a great heavy metal song with elements from Turbo, with elements from Painkiller, with elements from their more recent releases. Rob Halford sounds fantastic. A man in his advanced age that he can still sing like that, even if there's a little bit of help from the recording process, which I don't know. His voice is still fantastic. The song is it's just a kick-ass Judas Priest song. So I really enjoy it. There was a part in the bridge where you have those kind of almost like odd time signatures, and there's a guitar figure which is kind of a repetition of the theme from the introduction. That made me realize, wait a minute, that sounds like a song I wrote like 15, 20 years ago. And then I remembered, and that song was a ripoff of Tom Sawyer by Rush. So the bridge in Panic Attack sounds a little bit like the odd time signature riff in the bridge of Tom Sawyer. Do I have a problem with that? Not at all. I love Rush and I love the Tom Sawyer song. I love Judas Priest. Do I have a problem with one of my favorite bands, maybe, probably accidentally, sounding a little bit like one of my other favorite bands? No, not at all. It's just a fun observation. But I think it's a great song, Panic Attack. I'm really looking forward to their album. I still think that all the pre-order packages they have are obscenely expensive. What is it, $24 for a cassette tape? A cassette tape is supposed to be the cheaper alternative to CDs. And CDs are supposed to be the cheaper alternative to vinyl when we're talking like new releases. So we have a situation where the cassette tape is more expensive than the regular CD package. That's just insane. I'm gonna buy it, but I'm gonna buy the regular CD version. And I have to admit, before I heard the song, but after I had learned about the pricing on the pre-orders, I almost didn't want to pick the album up at all, to be perfectly honest. And I'm not gonna pick up the vinyl, except if there's suddenly a drastic drop price-wise. I'm not gonna pick up the cassette tape. To me, I buy cassette tapes, of course, for the nostalgia, and I think that's what the record company, they're trying to cash in on the nostalgia, but also because cassette tapes are the cheapest way currently to get new music, and also actually to get old music as well on physical format. So, but it's very promising. I really like the song. And then the last thing I want to talk about is just I've found a whole bunch of these kind of like CDs that come with magazines. So just wanted to go through them, just show you. So you got this one, Rock Revival, from some issue of Classic Rock. You have let's see if there is. I don't know any of the. Yeah, Graveyard is on here. So there was one band I knew here. But you got like Wilson, Mojo Sinners, Graveyard, of course. Cadaver, I know that band too. And I've heard about Avatarium. You got 14 songs on here. I know some of them, most of them I don't know. What do we have here? Classic Rock, the best of 2010. So what do we have? We have, there's FM. That's a pretty good AOR band. Alter Bridge. I don't hate Alter Bridge. I haven't heard all their stuff. I've heard their earlier albums, and they get a bit samey, but I don't hate them. There's also Slash featuring Miles Kennedy, so that's more Alter Bridge. Danko Jones, hard rock, power trio, and some other artists that I don't know. What else do we have here? We have 10 years of Basic Records. This one came with a Metal Hammer issue. So what do we have here? Mystery Signals, don't know them. No Consequence, don't know them. Elia, don't know them. Hates, don't know them. No Made Sense, don't know them. The Rouge Accord, don't know them. Bear, don't know them. Damn Spring, Fragrantia, don't know them. Visions, don't know them. Napoleon, that's my cat, but I don't think this is my cat on here. Murdoch, The Color Line, I don't know any of the bands on here. And this is the fun part about these kind of CDs that came with these, rock and pop or whatever magazines. It's a way to, get some new music in on some kind of physical format. So this is from Prague. You got King Crimson, I know those. Alan Reed, Distorted, Harmony. The Treat, I've heard those before for sure. Sumo Babies, I have no idea who that is, but you got some prog here. You got some more prog too. Sailing Uncharted Seas. Oh yeah, they have titles. Headspace. On here we have Big Big Train. I know those. Gandalf's Fist. I've heard that band name before, but I don't think I know it. Aeon Zen. I remember that band for sure. More prog. And this is Tangerine Dreaming. Shineback. Ziziki. I know that band. I've heard about them. Days Between Station. Don't know them. So yeah, some interesting prog stuff. What do we have here from Metal Hammer? The Great British Trendkill Volume 2. So that's a pun on the Great Southern Trendkill. We have is it Brutal or is it Brutai? I don't know. I think it's Brutal, and they just accidentally didn't write an uppercase L at the end, but I don't know. Sworn Amongst, One for Sorrow, Incinerary, Derision, Oceanus, Mordical, Bull Riff Stampede, 10 Cent Toy, Thousand Dreams, Seethe, The Antiquity, Scare Tactics, Take Her to Athena, Second Rate Angels. Don't know any of those bands, so some more stuff to explore. This is from Classic Rock. It's called By Royal Appointment. So let's see, do I have any bands I know on here? Doesn't look like it. I'll just mention some of them. The Deaf Poets, 1000 Years, Bulletproof Hearts, 9 O'Clock Gun, NATO, Coles, and the Blue Diamond Band. I don't know any of the bands on here. More prog. Prog was a magazine run by Classic Rock. So this is the Airborne. What do we have on here? I enjoy listening to these types of they're kind of like compilations, right? Let's see, any band I know. Epica. Okay. I didn't know they were a progressive, but I guess they are. Alien Quartet. I don't know that band, but it sounds interesting. Chat Noir. Don't know. What do we have here? Also from Prague. Here. Take the Long Way Home. There we go. Steve Hackett, of course I know. So he's on here. Tusmarke. I think it's a Norwegian progressive rock band or something. What else do we? Heaven's Cry, don't know them. Elephant Nine, don't know them. So as you can see, at least to me, these have some value. These you got Big Terrain. They have some value in introducing me to new music. More Aeon Zen, 2 Aeon Zen songs. Catatonia, The Pineapple Thief, I know them. Beardfish, I know them too. And Merkel, I know that band too. So this one had more bands I was familiar with. What do we have here? More prog. Into the Lens. So we got 2 Aeon Zen songs here too. We got Big Train. The others I don't. Yeah, The Gift, I know that band too. The Fierce and the Dead, I don't know them. Abandoned Stars, I don't know them. So lots of new music. More prog. Prognosis 2.3. That's what I think they were called first. These CDs that came with Prog magazine before they started giving them actual titles. Flying Colors, know that band. I think Mike Portnoy was in Flying Colors, right? Swallow the Sun, I've heard them too. Steve Hogarth and Richard Barbieri. I don't know the song, but I know the artists. Man on Fire, just to mention one. Here we have, so the Underdog EP by Furion. So the entire, it's just an EP by one band. I don't know what this one come with. I don't know. It just says Monster on it. I think it came with probably Kerrang or Metal Hammer or something. So cool. Sometimes you can get like, EPs by bands like this. And here you have Joe Elliott's My Regeneration. So I think it's Joe Elliott doing cover songs. In case you're interested in Joe Elliott. But there you go. Just wanted to show you. I came across a handful of those CDs. I have a bunch of them already in my collection, and they're fun to listen to every now and then. I mean, of course, this one here I count as a regular album. So this one is actually going to go in my first impressions pile. But there you go. Blabbing on for far too long. The take-home lesson is, if you like power metal, check this one out. It's awesome. And check out Rav Age's Welcome to the Rav Age album. If you want some no-nonsense, undergroundy heavy metal. Thanks for watching.